Hello everybody and welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series. I am Jay Zahn and I've got a match for you this morning on a nice Sunday morning here in the Nexus. Zul'jin Distillery versus Frank's Furters. We got a C Division match coming at you and we're going to start it out on Brax's holdout. Both these teams are ready and raring to go, and I don't know if I would want to play this early in the morning, but you know, hey, here we are, and we're gonna do this right. So this was a map pick, of course, for Zul'jin Distillery. They won the toss. They elected to ban out Powers of Doom, aside of Frank's Furters banning out Dragonshire. So we had Brax's holdout as the pick for Zul'jin Distillery, and then Frank's Furters elected to take us to Infernal Shrines for game number 2. Right away, interesting ban out here from Frank's Furters. They're going to elect to take the Tassadar out of the mix, so it does provide some good sustained support with those shields, but I would imagine this is a scouting thing. Yeah, we don't normally see Tassadar banned out early, so I would suspect that they knew something about Zul'jin Distillery. But I guess we'll never really know for sure. The Kael'thas also banned out. Kael'thas is pretty good on this map with the point control that he can provide. You can always put down those high percentage flame strikes right on the point, and you know, you'll usually hit pay dirt or you'll get value in zoning. So right away, ETC picked up probably the strongest tank in the meta right now, and Zarya and Lucio coming out as the response. So instead of getting the Tassadar, instead they get what is, in my opinion, an even stronger pick in the Zarya when it comes to shields. Tas got hit with the nerf bat pretty hard, I feel like. I think he's still viable. But I think Zarya, actually, you get a lot more value from her right now. So not surprised to see her come out. I've been surprised that we haven't seen a little bit more of her in the meta. She's a very good sieging tool, and it can be a pretty big deal to be able to get that extra sustain, especially on a map like Braxis where you're constantly fighting over those beacon points. Meanwhile, Greymane and Gul'dan coming out, so two really strong picks, two really good wave clear heroes as well. Of course, the Greymane, just a good all-around hero, can do pretty much anything in the game. And then Gul'dan, of course, a good solid wave clear hero. Great at clearing out waves, including the Zerg wave. And just in general, good sustained damage. He's also able to sustain himself in lane and get back mana. So that's pretty big. That's a good, solid pickup here for the side of Frank's Furters. Zul'jin Distillery going to go ahead and ban out the Stukov. So we do see a lot of Stukov. You know, really, there's two heroes in the game that are very strong in the support role right now, and that would be the Stukov and the Lucio. So with Lucio being picked up and Frank's Furters not really wanting to take a healer in the first rotation, they'll go ahead and ban out the Stukov and prevent him from being an issue. Arthas going to be banned on the other side, so while the side of Zul'jin Distillery applies that healer chokehold, same kind of thought process for Frank's Furters as they realize they have a tank, and Zul'jin Distillery decided not to draft one in the first round, so they ban out the Arthas to get the tank chokehold. So, and Arthas is pretty strong here. Again, and anybody that can really put a lot of pressure on the beacon point is solid. You walk into that beacon point with Arthas sitting there, you're probably not going to get to walk out. It's probably a do or die kind of situation at that point, unless you have some kind of big mobility. But either way, two more picks coming up here for Zul'jin Distillery, and there it is. They will go with the Zul. So kind of calling the bluff there with Frank's Furters. I mean, they got Zul right in the name. So they will go ahead and pick that up. A good wave clear hero, also able to put a lot of pressure. Could be their solo laner, but doesn't necessarily have to be. They still have one more pick. They could elect to take a different solo laner, but They also kind of want some range damage, I think, at this point. Probably like a Vala, something with good solid backline damage for those Zarya shields to really enable. So we'll see. But Johanna also picked up. Good solid, again, on the beacon point. Ribley. Frank Furters. All right. We got some Frank Furter fans in the house, ladies and gentlemen. But Johanna, very strong on the beacon point. Got a lot of ability to sustain herself on those beacons. And good counter to the Greymane a bit. Able to get the blinds out on him. But there is the solo lane coming in for Frank's Furters. They will pick up the Malthael. And the Malfurion also coming out. So we've seen the new Malf be a bit higher skill ceiling. And he can be very effective, or he can be minimally effective, depending on how he's utilized. So we'll see if Frank's Furters is up to the task of solving the Rubik's Cube that is the new Malf. And Malthael also coming out, so that'll be their solo laner. Pretty good matchup, I think, against Zol. So we'll have to see what the side of Zul'jin Distillery wants to do here with regards to their solo lane. One more pickup. You know, I almost feel like it's got to be a ranged carry for sure. I was thinking Vala, but it is indeed they're gonna go more the mage route here with the Jaina. So good lockdown potential from the Zol that can lead to the Jaina ring. Johanna also, of course, has the Condemn and the Blessed Shield to try and set up for those big damaging abilities for the Jaina. So we'll see if it works out for him here. I think it's not a bad pick. I do think they have a lot of sustain for the side of Zul'jin Distillery, so they could have some success in terms of the almost chicken fighting nature of Braxis holdout. But either way, we are loading in here to Braxis holdout. Game number 1 of this best of 2 series here between Zul'jin Distillery and Frank's Furters. Who will walk away with the points? How many points is everybody going to walk away with? I'm going to answer that question for you here shortly. We are heading on in. Braxis holdout, a very interesting map, pretty unique. The only other map that I really think of when I think of similar maps to Braxis is probably Dragonshire. You still got those 2 beacon points to charge and to try to get the objective. You have to hold them both at the same time, of course. So it can be a challenge. It can be a bit of a challenge to get that rolling. But we'll see if these teams are indeed up to the task. No Sylvanas, by the way, through that entire draft. Ban or pick, I believe. Very interesting. All right, so on the left, we have Zul'jin Distillery. They are going to be walking out here as your blue team. Be Fresh. Going to be on the Zul'jin. Nutcracker. Going to be on the Lucio. Ankle Shot. Going to be on the Johanna. DeWitt. Going to be on Zarya. And Secret. Going to be on the Jaina. On the right, Frank's Furters. Now we've got Name of Entropy. Going to be on the Malthael. We're going to have Indecisive on the Malfurion. Dallying Pig on the ETC. Boggs is going to be on the Greymane. And VZ going to be on the Gul'dan. Both teams rotating on down to the bot. They're going to respect the gentleman's agreement here on Braxis, and that would be to send the solo lane to the top and have the 4v4 in the bot. Nobody changing up the script at all on that. Ankle Shot will get him with the Condemn. And Dallying Pig taking quite a bit of poke damage. DeWitt able to eat quite a bit of that damage with the shields here and get full energy here early. The side of Frank's Furters is going to want to be careful about feeding DeWitt all that extra energy. They will end up regretting it here. Let's go ahead and get our level 1 talents up. We do see that it was indeed the field heat. So Zarya is going to be looking to stay in melee range for the most part and try to get that extra damage out from a close range. We're going to see the orb build coming out, or the orb talent at least, a level 1 from Secret, no surprise. Very strong pick there. Celestial alignment, so Malfurion got to be looking for some extra damage from those auto attacks. Corruption build coming in here from VZ, and everything else pretty standard. No big surprises, except maybe on the Lucio. Maximum Tempo is a pretty interesting pickup here. See how that works out for him. But for now, we do have the beacons. The beacon phase has begun. DeWitt will rotate up quickly. And as the side of Zul'jin Distillery getting little advantage in the damage department, they will be able to pick up this bottom beacon. But in the top lane, you know, I would expect Malthael to pretty much own the top lane unless Be Fresh gets a rotation in. So for now, he's going to hold that, and we will be at a standstill as far as the beacon progress is concerned. I see we got a couple of Frank's Furters fans in the audience. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me this morning here. I'm looking forward to it. I haven't gotten to cast. I don't believe I've ever gotten to cast Zul'jin Distillery before, and Frank's Furters. I think I have casted them before, but it's been a while. It's been a while since I've been able to cast most of the teams that we've been casting lately. So right away we do see the level 4 being picked up here for Zul'jin Distillery. They get a nice little boost in XP so far in this game. Big Condemn coming in, and the side of Zul'jin Distillery starting to move forward with the sustain they have in lane here, starting to pressure a little bit. They get a little bit of damage out on this front wall, but mostly just trying to pressure with the big damage on the heroes. And Boggs is in all kinds of trouble. He gets cut off. Secret will go down and go ahead and get that kill. And on that is going to be first blood going over to Zul'jin Distillery. Very nice move there to cut off the exit point there for the Greymane. He tried to Dark Flight out, but ultimately was not able to get away. Beezy doing a nice job healing himself up here. But Indecisive, very low here. He's going to have to be careful. Have to try to put that Q on himself, but he's also very low mana. So it'll take him a while before he's really able to really attack. But Malthael falling in the top lane. Be Fresh getting the job done up here. Gonna give them the beacon up in the top lane. And right now, Frank's Furters not in a position to be able to take the bottom beacon back. So that means we're going to have the free charge of these beacon progress. And we're going to slowly have here in the top lane, we're going to have those Zerg charging on into the pen and getting ready to be unleashed. Be Fresh getting a little extra damage out, but here comes Name of Entropy.
Hero slain.
We'll be going in here, but it's too little too late to get the beacon point back. Meanwhile, we do see the Malfurion falling in the bot lane, so another pick going over to the side of Zul'jin Distillery in the 4v4. So we'll see just a few Zerg coming out there, but here comes the Zerg in the top. Be Fresh has come back, but is also taking quite a lot of poke damage at this point. He is going to have to walk away. And the side of Frank's Furters going to have to try to deal with this. They do have Gul'dan for the wave clear. At least that's what I figured the plan was going to be, but they so far have left Gul'dan in the bot lane. Does look like he's starting to rotate up to answer to this. Dallying Pig taking a ton of poke damage. Ankle shot actually getting in and hitting the Condemn. They're trying to slow him down, but we will see the rotation has come in. Indecisive also DCing here. So I think we will, yeah. I will go ahead and toss in the pause. Why not? All right. So we will go ahead and give him a second to get on back in here Indecisive should be coming back to us soon, but looking at the situation, 3-0. Fort goes down here in the top so far, and side of Zul'jin Distillery looking pretty good in the early game. They've had some really nice combos. I think that overall they just have a lot more early damage. I think when you look at the heroics, or at least the heroic potential of both of these teams, I think the side of Frank's Furters are a lot more dependent on those heroics later in the game to be able to really compete. A lot of big AoE ults, Horrify, of course, the possibility of either Stage Dive or Mosh Pit. Looking at the Mosh Pit question, though, I would think Mosh Pit. There are only a few possible counters to the Mosh Pit. So it's the Blessed Shield. It'd have to be a very well-timed boop from Lucio, or the Expulsion Zone could be an option. But just not a lot of options. We do normally see Expulsion Zone taken by the Zarya on this map, so could see that. I could definitely see that, but I still think even when there are counters on the other side, I still think Mosh Pit is a great pickup. Wrong pipe. You always have to answer to the Mosh Pit. You always have to. You always have to be ready if that Mosh Pit is taken. So it's always just a good threat to have in the game. So yeah, typically these I typically like to let the teams pause because they know what's going on normally, and whether or not there's just like a momentary glitch. But if I see that they want the pause, but they maybe just don't know how, then I'll pause it as the referee for the game. But yeah, we eventually got that pause in, and it looks like they do know that he's coming back, so should be ready to go here in just a moment. So looking at some of the talent builds here. Very interesting talents taken. Chase the Base coming in from the Lucio player. Yeah, got to get Greymane into the back line. I agree with that. Again, I think it's a level 10 thing. Once they have those big engagey heroics, you get Malthael in with Tormented Souls, and that allow a lot of those big ultimates will allow Greymane to be able to get in there without taking quite so much heat. But it's still kind of tough. It's tough with the burst damage of Jaina and Zarya with that field of heat. Zul'jin, of course, being able to get the lockdown. So they're telling us stories in the chat now while we wait. Good talk. We do have Vengeful Roots taken here by Malfurion, so I'm going to be very interested to see what Malfurion ends up taking here in this match. We got the new Malf. So we've seen a couple different iterations of the Malf strategy, but we'll see one they elect to take here. And how well it works out. That's really the big thing for me. Yeah, full corruption build right now for Gul'dan. He's up to 24 stacks, so that's pretty solid. VZ going to be looking to stay in that 4-man to try and get as much value out of that build as he can early here. If he could complete that 40 early, it's going to give him a lot of extra wave clear, and it's also going to work well for their team fighting potential. So. All right, so it looks like he is loading in. So looks like we're almost there. How's everybody doing this morning? We got some more games later here in NGS. I think I was available to cast any of the ones this afternoon, but yeah, 5 o'clock we've got Elite Murloc Chieftains versus Gem Guys, and that one looks like it's not casted. I got a few more matches, but it looks like we're also in. All right, we are back. Decisive has returned to us, and it looks like both teams are going to start rotating out and grabbing camps. So, pretty good start here for the side of Zul'jin Distillery. This is what you want in an early game Braxis. You want to get that first. Oh man, and the lockdown coming in onto Greymane. Be fresh. Saying, come at me, bro. But the response is big from Frank's Furters. They're not going to let him get away with that for free. The lockdown will come in onto ETC. So Be Fresh going to be able to turn the corner, but and it will be headed off by VZ Company. But again, the response is strong on the other side. So Indecisive will take some damage there from Secret. We will see them being able to try to clear out this camp. Right away, we do see them coming in onto the Hellbats. Hellbats a little bit too strong this week for the tastes of the Blizzard executives. Deciding to go ahead and tune that back down a little bit. Hellbats are a little bit ridiculous now with the armor shred. So we will see both teams just rotating around right now, trying to get the XP. Level 10s are in here for the side of Zul'jin Distillery. It is going to be the Gravitation Surge, so not electing to go with the Expulsion Zone. But Blessed Shield, Skeletal Mages, Sound Barrier, and of course, the Ring. The Ring. Wild Growth at level 7 here from Malfurion, so he's going to be looking to extend the duration of those Qs. Those Moonfires, getting a little extra healing out. Meanwhile, in the top lane side of Zul'jin Distillery, electing to push in towards that top front wall. But the answer is good here from Frank's Furters. They put a couple of their solid wave clear heroes here in the top. Meanwhile, it looks like for now, the side of Zul'jin Distillery are actually going to get the beacon progress. Would like to see Frank's Furters contest this a little earlier. Name of Entropy actually taking a lot of damage here from the Skeletal Mages and the Root. But Be Fresh doing a nice job of holding that beacon down for a little while. They get about a third of the way there in terms of their beacon progress. So that's good solid turnout there. Here comes Zul'jin Distillery looking to contest this. Level 10s are in though, and we will see that Tormented Souls popped here, but a big ring on the other side, and the damage coming down onto the beacon. All the members of Frank's Furters stacking in onto that beacon point for Secret, but all the while on the other side, we are seeing Secret's going to end up going down, but a Name of Entropy, the only one left. Be Fresh, not going to let him go for free either. We'll get a ton of damage down onto him. They'll go back and forth, but it looks like Name of Entropy getting the better of that exchange will be able to get the Zul'jin kill. But all the while, it ends up being a 2 for 4. And the beacon will be captured there by Zul'jin Distillery. They'll get another big cast, up to 90% now. A couple members of Zul'jin Distillery looking at this. They will get Name of Entropy down here, but we will see the Mosh Pit coming out with the Roots to follow it up, but it's only Indecisive and Dallying Pig on the point here. Boggs and VZ up there wave clearing. Gotta get down here and get the help to try to defend here. They are able to defend the point, but kind of a waste of a good Mosh Pit there. Could have easily been a couple kills if they had even just one of their DPS up here. Kind of a bummer, but they will go ahead and be able to get the beacon for now. Nice slide again by Dallying Pig. This time the follow-up is there, but also there on the other side is some serious damage from Zul'jin Distillery, so they will punish on the positioning there for both Malfurion and ETC, and the rest of Frank's Furters are going to have to try to back up here. Name of Entropy is going to get rooted by that Bone Prism. The damage is coming down from every one of the members. See a big cocktail, but so many members walking away with low health here for Zul'jin Distillery. But the big story is that the Zerg wave has come. They capture the beacon. They are able to get the 100-0 Zerg wave for the second time in a row here on Brax's Holdout. And this is the map choice of Zul'jin Distillery, so... Or, wait. No? Yes, it is. It is the map choice for Zul'jin Distillery. So, of course, you know, you would expect them to have a good strategy for this map. You would expect them to play the map well. And so far, that is what we've been seeing. Gravitation Surge being hit here onto Dallying Pig. No real follow-up potential with the wall still being up. But they do end up getting the front wall here. They also have Zul'jin split out in the top lane, so they're getting some serious XP value and getting a little bit of value in both lanes. Name of Entropy having to be a little bit careful here. Low health in the top, but we'll be able to wave clear this out. But meanwhile, level 15 for Zul'jin Distillery. They're looking for 16. Level 13 has been achieved now for Frank's Furters. So they've got to force. They've got to force a fight here in the next level, or it's going to be rough. Level 16 is one of the big spikes here in Heroes of the Storm, and it's really hard to come back from that.
Hell yeah.
Zul'jin kill. Yep. Whoops. All right. We do see the camp being cleared up pretty quickly here in the bot lane. Lots of wave clear. Lots of that spike damage in terms of the siege damage here coming in from Jaina. And the Zul'jin also dealing just massive wave clear. They will rotate up and clear out these Hellbats. Will grab their own camp. And this is, again, this is the opportunity that Frank's Furters needs to be able to force. They know that Zul'jin Distillery is here. They're looking to come in from behind. And they know that Zul'jin Distillery is not going to rotate back through. They will be able to scout them out here, but they are going in. We'll see the Gravitation Surge coming in. The Ring dealing a ton of damage. The combo is good. And a 3 for nothing. A 4 for nothing. A 5 for nothing. It's a full team wipe for the side of Zul'jin Distillery, and that was the fight that Frank's Furters had to take. But Zul'jin Distillery knew that too. They say, whatever, we're just going to go for it. And they hit pay dirt. Huge amounts of damage. And a lot of focus damage from Frank's Furters into Ankle Shot, which is exactly, or I should say, yeah, it's exactly what Zul'jin Distillery wants to see. And they are able to capitalize off of that. Get the boss, and they'll rotate out to grab both of these beacon points. Right now, everything coming up Zul'jin Distillery here on Brax's Holdout. Meanwhile, we do see the boss marching on into the top lane here. They're going to try to support this. They will soon have the Zerg wave coming in after, but probably not synced up with the boss necessarily. But we will see Name of Entropy trying to flank. Does pop that Unstoppable to at least get him out of the Bone Prism. But this is going to be Name of Entropy sacrificing himself for a free boss clear. But the Gravitation Surge does get Gul'dan out of position here. And again, Secret right there to follow it up. Nice capitalization on that Gravitation Surge. Be able to kill 2 as Malfurion also going down. And this looks like the end of the game. The Zerg wave is marching through the top lane. They're going to take a quick detour to take out that healing well. and then onto the core they shall come. Boggs is going to get rooted and take a lot of damage. ETC will fall. The core is falling down. Shields are gone. 50%, 30%. And the Zerg wave going to finish off the core. And Zul'jin Distillery getting themselves GG and game number 1 here on Braxis Holdout. Really, really nice team fighting there. Good coordination from Zul'jin Distillery. Lots of healing, lots of damage. You got Lucio and Zarya in the support game with a lot of damage coming in from the Zarya. That's exactly what you want. Unfortunately, one of the hardest things I think to do in the game right now as Malfurion for Indecisive is play from behind. That's a really, really difficult task because with the Malfurion now, you got to get the Qs out. And you got to be able to constantly have the ability to Moonfire to get the healing out. And when you can't step forward to get those Moonfires, it can be pretty rough. Pretty rough life for Malf. We will see game 1 going over to Zul'jin Distillery. However, for game number 2, we will be going on to Braxis Holdout, which is going to be the map choice here for Frank's Furters. So we'll see if they have the ability to come out here and get themselves a win on their own map. As I would expect the advantage to go over to Zul'jin Distillery in that first game on their map choice, I would expect the same of Frank's Furters here on their own map choice in game number 2. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Zav. If they are able to kill the Jaina, that's really the lifeblood. You look at the comp, and Zul'jin deals some damage, but most of the damage is going to be coming from the Jaina, with a little bit of damage also being piled in there by the Zarya. But it's mostly Jaina, and if they are able to get to the Jaina with the Greymane damage and the Malthael, then it does all kind of just fall apart. So. But we'll see what exactly Frank's Furters want to try to change here. Whoa. Where'd everybody go? That was strange. I had everybody in the lobby and then just boom, everybody fell right on out. Very strange. Alright, looks like we got everybody filing on in to the lobby here for game number 2. We're starting up in just a moment. Thank you very much for joining me, everybody. Glad to see so many people showing up here on a Sunday morning for some NGS action. Been a fun week. It's been a fun week of casting so far. And this is just week 1. Today is the end of week 1 here. Got 5 more weeks and then the playoffs here for NGS. So if you like what you see, don't forget to hit that follow button. Covering lots of NGS action here. And we are going to move on to Infernal Shrines. Game number 2. Both of these teams are ready to go. Frank's Furters gets the map pick, so first pick, first ban. Going over to Zul'jin Distillery. They look for the domination here and getting those 3 sweet points for their NGS standings. Meanwhile, Frank's Furters just looking to make it out alive here on Infernal Shrines, getting themselves the draw and netting themselves 1 point. And basic rule of Infernal Shrines is you want to make sure you get yourself some good wave clear. We do see a lot of times the globals prioritized here. It is a fairly big map. Siege potential is great, especially if you got you know, a side soaker with good wave clear and siege potential. And of course, anything that can clear the shrine very well is very well appreciated by any team on this map. Whoa, where are we going? Oh, I see what I did. My bad. Sorry about that, folks. Hit the wrong button. We do have Diablo going to be the first pick here from Zul'jin Distillery. Very interesting. He is good on this map, but I'm a little surprised to see him prioritize that highly. I don't think I've ever seen... it's been a long time, at least, since I've seen Diablo first picked. And Frank's Furters are going to net themselves a couple of very strong heroes on this map in response. ETC and Sonya are going to be picked up here. One thing I will say about Diablo, he is good on this map. There's a lot of terrain, especially in the shrine areas, for him to be able to collide with. We've seen a lot of Diablo lately with the changes to the globes. So I do think he's strong. We'll see if it works out here for Zul'jin Distillery. Meanwhile, side of Frank's Furters will very quickly jump on the bandwagon for getting themselves a strong shrine clearer in the Sonya. Probably the strongest in the game other than Kerrigan at clearing the shrines. So ETC will also be picked up, just that frontline monster. It was played pretty well, I think, by Dallying Pig in the last game. The follow-up was not always there, but we'll see if Frank's Furters can tighten that up this game. It looks like Zul'jin Distillery will go back to the Malthael, but this time picking up the Uther, so that's a very interesting pick. I feel like Uther has fallen off a bit in the sense since the support apocalypse. I think that in general he's still got some upside with the stun and the armor that didn't get nerfed. But his healing numbers are not great anymore. So I guess we'll see. You know, they ultimately didn't really nerf much about his divine shield, I should say. So still good value there. It's just it's not great sustained healing, so we'll see. Dukov's still going to be available here, so both teams. The Ana ban is interesting. Frank's Furters, I guess, thinking they might go double support here. I wouldn't have expected to see the Ana, but an interesting pick for a ban here. Lucio banned on the other side. That's not a surprise at all. Zul'jin Distillery getting rid of the best support in the game right now in the Lucio. But Stukov is still available, so we'll see if they decide to go the way of the Lucio, who offers just some incredible sustained healing. But they got 2 picks here. They probably want to get a backline damage at this point. And they will go back to the well with Malfurion here. So we'll see if it can be a little bit more effective in this game. One thing I will say is that with Brax's holdout, it can be a little bit more difficult to really take full advantage of the roots. As there are not as many cutoff points and chokes. But here on Infernal Shrines, there are no shortage of chokehold points to put the roots in. So they will go ahead and pick up the Malfurion and the Gul'dan combo once again. The Gul'dan, of course, very strong, wave clear, good on the shrines as well. So Frank's Furters getting themselves a nice ability to control the shrines. While Zul'jin Distillery right now have a couple strong heroes, but I'm not sure what the combo is. Last game, it was pretty easy to see what the combo was in terms of, you know, hit the gravitation surge, hit the ring, GG. We'll have to see what they're going for this game. So Vala and Chromie coming out here. They definitely needed the backline damage. So they will get themselves a couple of really strong damage dealers. Bala does have a couple of different builds that are viable right now. The multi-shot build, very good at clearing the shrines and adding good wave clear. Also good spread damage. But the Chromie, good solid burst damage. So it is a good counter to the Malfurion. And Greymane will be picked up in response. So they'll go back to the Greymane, who should be able to be a little bit more enabled, I think, this game by the ETC and the Sonya. That front line is a little bit stronger for allowing Greymane to be able to get in there and get the job done. But ultimately, we're just going to have to see how it works out. As I would say the Shrine advantage goes over to Frank's Furters, especially if they are able to be fairly aggressive. You know, they're gonna want to try to get in on this point and try and engage as early as possible. Because if Zul'jin Distillery has the opportunity to poke out with the Chromie in particular and the slow bleed damage of Malthael, eventually that's going to be rough for them. However, that's the damage side of it. The support side of it actually favors Frank's Furters because the Uther does not have good sustained healing. So we'll have to see how it goes. The damage or the healing, which one wins out here.
Prepare yourselves for battle, heroes.
All right. Loading in to game number 2 on the left. It is Zul'jin Distillery. Ankle Shot going to be on the Vala. Nutcracker on the Uther. DeWitt is going to be on Diablo. Secret going to be on the Chromie. And Be Fresh going to be on the Malthael. On the right, Frank's Furters. Name of Entropy going to be stacked in there really tight. I don't know. That's going to be on the Sonya. VZ is going to be on the Gul'dan. Dallying Pig is on the ETC. Indecisive is going to be on the Malfurion. And Boggs on the Greymane. Alright, so we will see both teams coming on into the mid. WrestleMania is on. Name of Entropy going in kind of deep. Gets stunned out. Takes a ton of damage from the Chromie. But we'll be able to make it out to the Q and slow tick healing here of Indecisive. And we got DeWitt DCing right out the gate. So we will... Oh, he's back. We're good. That was not the button that I was looking for, but looks like it all worked out. And while Dallying Pig will be staying here in the mid, while 3-man rotation here to the bot. Good wave clear potential over on the side of Frank's Furters. They should be able to clear this up pretty quick and move their way around the map as they please. Meanwhile, we do see the solo lanes in the top, but DeWitt not going to respect the gentleman's agreement for the solo lane. They rotate a full 4 up here and will be able to get first blood onto Frank's Furters. But caught out a little bit up here on the Sonya. Meanwhile, Dallying Pig gonna have to slide out of trouble there as the rotation came back down from top. But again, the 3-man down here, as Boggs is gonna be able to grab this camp fairly quickly. One of the nice things to get from Greymane is he's easily able to solo these camps pretty early in the game. Charge in from DeWitt though onto VZ. Nice peel from Indecisive with the roots. He'll be able to walk away from that. Meanwhile, Khazras have been picked up here. Yeah, Kendo, for sure. Yeah, the Uther should have troubles over the long haul healing against the Gul'dan. That's a solid pick over on the side of Frank's Furters. So, but you know, so it depends on how quickly Zul'jin Distillery is able to get the combos and try to eliminate somebody. It's gonna mostly depend on how the Chromie and Vala follow up the Diablo charge. But we'll see how that works out for him. But either way, we are going into this shrine in the middle. It looks like that is what they are going to be working on here. Like full rotation in from Frank's Furters, but a little bit of a slower rotation from Zul'jin Distillery here, as both teams are going to be setting up for it. Level 5 on both sides, so no big advantage for tiers or levels. Dallying Pig will go ahead and get this rolling. Root in the bottom here onto Nutcracker. DeWitt charging in on Dallying Pig. Back and forth they go. Boggs is going to be thrown into the back line here. And Dallying Pig getting very low, but DeWitt actually the first to fall to the Greymane cocktail, but Boggs is also going to get a fall. So 1 for 2 here. Also didn't see the Vala falling to Gul'dan down here. But VZ doing a nice job of getting some solid damage out, getting a little bit of extra healing. Be Fresh trying to stay in there, but we'll have to back out off of Name of Entropy. All the while, we got Dallying Pig and Indecisive getting themselves a lead in the Shrine Control. Secret doing what he can to try and clear that out, but ultimately not going to be able to get too many with that sand. And definite advantage going over to Frank's Furters here in the early part of the Shrine. They are going to be able to get some good healing from Decisive now that he has tapped and gotten some Mana Bat. Ankle Shot getting caught out here in the bottom, and is going to end up going down. Nice root onto Be Fresh here, and we'll be able to capitalize that off of the Boggs cocktail. And another kill as Uther is going to fall. So right now the side of Frank's Furter is doing a nice job of coordinating and getting themselves the kills here. It's almost like we swapped the teams around a little bit here. This is exactly what we started to see early in the game on Brax's holdout from Zul'jin Distillery, and now Frank's Furters has this Punisher, and they are going to be marching in towards the mid. They do have Sonya split in the top to get that XP advantage. Meanwhile, all the members of Zul'jin Distillery have come in for the defense, so no side soak for them. DeWitt also going to go down. Diablo not going to be here for the rest of this defense. We will see the Punisher jump in on Be Fresh, but he's able to step back, and meanwhile the side of Frank's Furters will go ahead and get themselves the first fort of the game. 6-2, and about a level and a half lead now also. So a very strong start here for Frank's Furters. Get a little bit of that top wall as well, so really doing a nice job of capitalizing. First bot lane went uncontested in the during that entire phase. Meanwhile, we do have level 10 right around the corner here for Frank's Furters. So the side of Zul'jin Distillery got to either force now or hold their peace until level 10. So we'll see what they decide to do. Of course, with that level 1 talent, DeWitt enjoying himself some nice, sweet health globes in the mid. Got to be careful from the rotation, though. Looks like right now it is pretty much just going to be these two teams going after one another in the mid. But here it comes. The rotation does come in, and they're actually going to even burn the cursed bullet. But they will be able to take DeWitt down. Meanwhile, level 10s are here. Mosh Pit, Cursed Bullet, Twilight Dream, Leap, and Horrify. So we've seen more Leap from Sonya's recently. I really like Leap as an option when you just really need a gap closer. And we also actually see Time Loop coming in from the Chromie, level 8 Heroic. Chromie does get those talents 2 levels ahead of time. Not cheating. But we do see Secret trying to counter siege in the bot. But the side of Frank's Furters know they have the level 10. Know that they don't really have to worry too much about Zul'jin Distillery. And they are getting some nice advantage off of that fact. Meanwhile, we do see Name of Entropy going after Be Fresh up here. Solo lane rages on, but advantage to Frank's Furters in that, just if nothing else, for the 2 levels. That extra percentage is big. Boggs is going to go ahead and hit the B button. the rest of Frankfurters will start rotating towards the top here. We do see this top camp being grabbed by Zul'jin Distillery. They will get the level 10s, and they will get APOC, Divine Shield, Rain of Vengeance, and I expect Be Fresh to take the Tormented Souls, but he has not selected yet. Meanwhile, right away, Frankfurters will get started on this shrine. And but here comes Zul'jin Distillery. They are going to find Name of Entropy out here a little bit. They are able to pop that Tormented Souls as well, but we'll have Entropy leaping out here, getting to the back, trying to get some health from whirling around in that shrine. But the huge mosh pit coming in after the Twilight Dream, Indecisive doing a nice job of trying to turn that around along with Dallying Pig and that mosh pit. They get a couple of kills, but 2 for 2 exchanged here. However, both teams actually now having tank, support, and assassin. So we'll see which one is stronger. I think advantage definitely goes over to Frankfurters in this one, but VZ taking a ton of damage from that time loop combo. But meanwhile, the side of Frankfurters able to push them off the shrine for the moment. And with the lead they have, they should be able to pretty quickly net themselves a Punisher here. They don't have to rush it, but I think they're just going to go ahead and finish this off. Proc the Punisher. It is going to be an Arcane Punisher, the most hated of all the Punishers. And no wall for them to bait it over here in the top lane. They do have the healing well still, but that soon will be going down. Nice follow-up here to the Punisher jump by Dallying Pig, but have they gone too far in this 4v5? Sonya clearing the mid and then grabbing a camp here, so they don't have all 5 of their members here, but they do have John Cena, and Nutcracker going to get hit with that jump, and the charge in. Dallying Pig is there to follow it up and punish, and Uther goes down. His Ghost will still be able to heal up the team a bit. And it looks like that's about all the Frankfurters are going to be able to get. They will get a little bit of this front wall, and the Punisher will eventually fall. Oh, and Indecisive getting caught in a little bit here, but ultimately they will just back up. Or will they? The time loop does actually get the Malfurion. And they are able to also get in on Boggs here, so nice follow-up so far from Secret. Trying to get some nice damage out to follow up DeWitt. Boggs actually dangerously backing here in the bush is able to get out. I was gonna say that we saw our Malfurion player here take Revitalize at 13 instead of that Ice Block. Could have saved him from the time loop, but ultimately gonna choose to get a little bit of that extra mana back. We do see it was indeed Tormented Souls picked up here. So a lot of big ticket heroics. We'll have to see if they're able to really set it up and execute it well over on the side of Zul'jin Distillery. I think the combo that they had last game was a lot easier to pull off, whereas it's going to be hard for them to effectively pair a lot of these heroics that they've got this time around. But we will see Frankfurters looking to force here. Boggs actually going in. Is going to get charged by DeWitt. They'll flip him around. But the root comes out on the other side. APOC and the Tormented Souls coming down. And they are able to get a ton of damage. 2 for nothing here. And the time loop going to bring VZ back. And he's going to go down. The also popping the fear here. That's not going to be enough to save him. And 3 for nothing right as Frankfurters was about to hit 16. So they could have been a little bit more patient there. They could have gone for the 16 and then tried to engage, but they get in that engagement. And now it's going to give Zul'jin Distillery a good chance to try and come back in this one. Next Shrine phase will be in the bot lane. So this is pretty good timing here from Zul'jin Distillery if they're able to get this. It's pretty deep into the lane for Frankfurters to have to clear out. So we'll probably go uncontested for a little while. Shouldn't be long until we hear the chime of that 30-second warning for the shrine. There it is. So we'll see that will be marching in the top lane. And if uncontested, these Shaman camp are incredibly hard to get cleared out on their own. They will take a fort, keep, and more. They're not answered to, but it looks like they are going to elect to come down here and work on the shrine. Level 16 right around the corner for Zul'jin Distillery, so they are not in any huge hurry to get the engage, but they will get the level 16 in, and the side of Frank's Furters will get started on this shrine. They're going to get as much as they can before Zul'jin Distillery decides to come in and get this engage going, but they got to do it soon. 23 already on the minion count. They are going to have to get in here right now. Name of Entropy down here, getting a ton of damage on Nutcracker. Secret hitting that time loop, but we'll be healed up. Meanwhile, we will see B-Fresh going in with the Tormented Souls. A huge mosh pit coming in on the other side, but it's Vala and Malfurion that are the first to fall. ETC, Sonya, everybody dying here. What a bloodbath as Gul'dan and Greymane goes down, but it is ultimately Zul'jin Distillery that comes out with the better of it. A full team wipe, and that is huge turning point here in this match. They get the top fort. The Shaman camp still marching up this lane with just full health, and he's getting himself a nice backing of minions as well. Meanwhile, they will have the Punisher in bot lane, so Zul'jin Distillery coming out here in the late game with themselves a huge W in terms of momentum for this match. And it's that level 16. Never, ever overlook Mento More, man. A ton of damage coming in there from B-Fresh. So I would love to see the damage numbers here. But yeah, you can't overlook the Chromie damage. Secret has been doing a ton of damage in this one from that backline poke. But ultimately, Chromies do a great job of doing a lot of damage, but they need somebody to be able to follow up. Speaking of following up, Dallying Pig actually proccing the jump, not baiting it over the wall. We'll be able to slide out, but Zul'jin Distillery will look to poke this out. Meanwhile, both the solo laners have gone out to lane to clear. Nice jump there by the Punisher. And we will see Indecisive getting completely blown up once again by that time loop combo. And the lack of ice block is real here. Moving into this late game, Zul'jin Distillery still with just a few percent left on the Punisher. Will be able to get the keep and should probably back out here. They do have level 20, and they get a huge amount of damage on Boggs. But ultimately, they do decide to go ahead and back out. And we'll start to run around the map and try to rule the map control game. They do still have a 2-level window here where they can try to force with these Storm Tier talents. What will they choose to get as their rewards? They'll start with a mid-fort. They'll maybe look for a Bruiser camp shortly after. Name of Entropy. Looks like he is going to start to head towards this. But ultimately, Frank's Furters got to know that they cannot really contest that. Oh, enemy of Entropy. Okay. Maybe I'll just try and call him Entropy from now on, but thank you, Kendo. I appreciate it. My inability to pronounce names has become quite legendary. Legendary status. You find me a name and I'll find a way to mispronounce it. That's what I do. I mean, I got Be Fresh right? That's, that's something. Meanwhile, we do have camps being picked up on both sides. I would like to see Zul'jin Distillery force here. They are just kind of rotating around the map and allowing Frank's Furters to safely soak this level 20. I would love to see them giving them a little bit more problems with this, but ultimately they are able to clear. They're getting good vision control, be able to see exactly where Frank's Furters is. That is something. The APOC being popped here. Maybe a misclick here from DeWitt. Yeah, Dallying Pig wants to know too. But, well, that'll be back in 85 seconds. No big deal, boys. Scare tactics. I like it. But again, they rotate around the safe way. And they will go ahead and steal the camp. So they are painting the map blue a bit. Ultimately. Yeah, Frank's Furters needs to take this slower. I agree. And right now they need to take it very slow for the next half a level. And they are doing just that. They are barely coming out from the safety of their structures. And only when they have full sight of where Zul'jin Distillery is. But again, this is the opportunity for Zul'jin Distillery to force. They see that the camp is in mid lane. They know the side of Frank's Furters is going to want to try to clear that. But instead of rotating to try to force where that camp is, they rotate around the safe way, clear up some of the lane. I don't know, Frank's Furters dancing around danger here. They are getting very close to the 20. There it is. They will pick up their Storm Talents. And now we're going to have ourselves an even fight here in the top over this shrine. The side of Frank's Furters do have all their heroics up. 10 seconds until APOC is available once again. And looks like they are going to go in. Time Trap will hit Dallying Pig, but Entropy is going to go ahead and go in. And meanwhile, Be Fresh popping that Tormented Souls once again, getting a lot of value, but the Twilight Dream is huge. APOC will come out. The Mosh Pit gets interrupted. Diablo going down. Sonya falling. And Secret is just wailing away in the back here. Holy cow, the damage is real. Dallying Pig will fall. The Death Mosh will slow the advance of Be Fresh here. But ultimately, 3 catapults on the core. That actually could be enough to end the game right here, as it is chunking away. 4 catapults, I should say. And yeah, that is going to be it. Winions here on Infernal Shrines. Zul'jin Distillery going to come out here on a Sunday morning and win themselves a domination. With themselves 3 sweet points to put on their resume. To put on that standing sheet. No help from Bobo, by the way. Darn Bobo. Ultimately, though, that was just very patiently played by Zul'jin Distillery. Frank's Furters came out on that map. They had the advantage in the early game, and they really took advantage. But then Zul'jin Distillery just played it patient. They came back. They got a few picks here and there, and then took a few good fights. They took that fight right before the side of Frank's Furters had level 16 in the mid, and that was good enough to net them a really solid win there. And then they took another fight shortly later in that bottom shrine area, and that was just a huge win. They were patient. They waited until they had 16. They went in with the fight. And then level 20 again, you know, they just had a huge advantage with the Chromie poke in the back. And I didn't think that they were going to be able to deal with that split damage from the Gul'dan, but ultimately, you know, it was the damage from Chromie. They were able to win the fights quickly, and that's what you have to do with an Uther. You have to go in quickly. You have to win the fights fast, because Uther can't sustain, and that's what they did with those last 3 team fights. Right before Frank's Furters had level 16, right after Zul'jin Distillery had 16, and then with the level 20 fight. They won the team fights quickly and decisively, and they were able to pick up a big win here. So congratulations to Zul'jin Distillery. Thank you very much to Frank's Furters for coming out and putting on a good show for us. I felt like they performed well, and we have a lot to look forward to in the rest of the NGS season. And thank you guys for coming out and having some fun with me here on a Sunday morning. Getting to see the Winions go ahead and take the core at the end. And we'll see you guys next time for more NGS action. Feel free to hit that follow button and come back next time for some more NGS. And for the Nexus Gaming series, I am Jason, and I will see you guys next time.